All right, here's a question that involves graphing a quadratic function, and it's asking us for vertex and line of symmetry. We could ask for lots of other things, but we'll start there. They also give us a table of values that maybe we can use to help sort of find the shape of the quadratic equation. I know that it's going to look something like this, right? Because it's x squared. Since it's 1/3, it's probably going to be a little bit flatter than that. Whoops. A little bit flatter than that one. Because we saw that if this number is in between 0 and 1, it's quite flat. If this number is like a 5, then the quadratic function would be vertically stretched quite a bit. So I know it's going to be sort of flat like that one. Also, another thing from just looking at this, since the normal function looks like this, x minus h squared plus k, but I don't have an h value, nor do I have a k value, like there's no numbers in there. So I can assume that both of those values are 0, because if I put a 0 in for each of those, I would just get something like x squared plus 0, or it'd just be an x squared. So since h and k are 0, that's what my vertex is. So my vertex is going to be right there. Since this is positive, since a is positive, it's going to be going up from there. And now let's use the table of values to sort of help us determine how far up or what the actual curve looks like. So if I put a 0 in for x, 0 squared is 0 times a third is still 0. But we knew that one, right? Well, I put a 1 in there. 1 squared is 1. 1/3 times 1 would be a third, or about 0.33. We'll write it as a third. Put a 2 in. 2 squared is 4. 4 times a third would be 4/3, or just over 1. If I put a -1 in, -1 squared is a +1, times 1/3 would still be about a third. Putting a -2 in, -2 squared would be 4. 4 times a third would be about 4/3. So that gives us some numbers. Let's just see if that's going to help us out at all. So I go over 1, and I have to go up to a third, right about there. If I go over to 2, then I have to go up 4/3, which is 1 and a third, right about there. Same thing on this side, -1, I have 1 at about a third. -2, I have 1 at 1 1/3, which would be about there. I guess that gives me a little bit of idea about the graph. Why don't we go to 3 too? Let's just continue our table of values down here. Let's plug in a 3. So 3 squared would be 9. 9 times a third would be 3. Well, that's a nicer number. 3 and 3. Let's put in -3. -3 squared would be a +9. 9 times a third is 3 again. So -3 and 3. There, so that's given us a better idea of what the graph of that is going to look like. Okay, hopefully that helps you graphing quadratic equations, simple ones like that.